And hopefully I did not mess something up. Okay, so, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did you want me to go grab the charger? It's powerful warm. I'm not seeing comments, baby. Check, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hey, Sherry. Thank you, Miss Sherry. I wasn't sure if I was in the right place. Every time I think about this, I think about that movie with War Games. Would you like to play a game? You guys hear me okay? Did that one finally just die? Um, we can use the old hard ones, the hardwire ones if you want. Well, if they can't hear you talking mess, baby, it's just not going to be the same. Okay. YouTube sounds good. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. I'll let you find me. I think they can still hear you.
Yeah, I'll have to yell. You're fine.
I'm sweating, y'all. It's hot and humid in Arizona right now. Of course, it's humid for us. Some of y'all might not think it's humid. What do you think it is? About 30% today? I have no clue. It's humid and hot. It's no bueno. Thank you, Angie. I'm hoping to be able to make that. Well, I'm not hoping. I'm working on being able to make the colored shirts available soon, so you guys can get them if you want. I'm working with our local printer to make it happen. Thank you, Michelle. Angie, I could be wrong. It may not be 30%. It feels like it though. Like I just feel like I'm wet all day. David's trying to get the sound together, y'all. Oh, okay. You want to try to say hi to everybody? No? Okay, I guess I'm going to get started and we'll circle back to hellos. David's having trouble with his mic. So, I hope for my Roycycled insiders that you guys opened your email. I know it came late this week. This week was a rough week. It was a rough week this week.
All right, I'm there.
You're there?
Yay,
Okay.
I got it. Yay.
Yay. So I hope you guys got your game. Mine is black and white because I got a new printer, y'all, and I can't figure out how to make it work. I cannot figure out how to make it work. So I'm still printing in black and white. But you guys' game is nice and bright and colorful. But I hope you guys got your game. And I have no idea what I'm doing tonight because we're going to play the game together. And whatever I pull out of my little bowls is what we're going to do.
All right.
But we're going to say hello to everybody before we get started?
Sure, we could do that.
Okay.
All right. So, on the YouTubes,
On the YouTubes,
we have Flea Brown from Santa Barbara. And what were we looking at that had Santa Barbara? Oh, we're watching Psych.
oh yeah, we're watching Psych again.
Yeah. And the front page of the Santa Barbara newspaper said, failed actress gets big break. And I said, you know, that would have worked when I was a newspaper editor in my town,
I know.
not in Santa Barbara.
I don't think so.
No. Vicki Moore, Marsha Walls from Michigan, Dreaming Cat Studio from Woodland, California, 109 here. Yeah, we're 111, I think.
Somewhere in there. It's
Yeah.
hot. That's all I know.
Celestine Clark, Joanne Cotton, Patsy Lewis, Yolanda Payton Jones. Have Dreaming Cat Studio. Have air conditioning on. I'm still sweating.
Yeah, it's just humid.
Joan Volkman watching from one of my favorite towns, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Amber DeMack. I'm on YouTube too. Patsy Lewis. I guess you're just not used to it over there, the humidity. I'm at 92%.
Oh my gosh, no.
Amber DeMakowitz. It's remarkably nice in Oklahoma, which is usually humid and very hot. Luann Vassallo has family in Phoenix. There you go. Yes, loud and clear. Thank you, Dreaming Cat Studio. I had to fix the mic. Claudia Mossberger from Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. There are two. And it's important, apparently, to define that.
To know which one is which.
I had a former mayor that I covered. Her dad was a newspaper editor from Kansas City, Kansas. And she made a point of ensuring that I knew it was the Kansas side.
It was a Kansas one.
Joan Volkman, how do I sign up to get the game? Isabel Rouleau.
You're not an insider yet?
Isabel Rouleau from Montreal.
I didn't filter out my hibiscus blooms and my tea. I just threw them in there.
Oh, Flea Brown said she just watched all 3 Psych movies this weekend. We're starting at the beginning again.
Yeah,
so.
we're starting at the beginning again, and then we'll get to the movies.
And Ruru too says Northern California 103 right now. That's on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks.
On the Facebooks.
We have Barbara Whistler, Garrel, Colorado. Linda Gibson, Shelley Guerra, Guerra, loud and clear in Northern California. Tammy Valloni, Tina Krieger LaMontagne, Billy Keir. Yeah, I knew you couldn't hear me. I was working on it. No, Amber DeMakowitz is David not talking tonight. No. I had one night I didn't feel good. Angie Champagne loves the blue shirt. Jane Neese from Wisconsin, 72 in showers.
Oh.
Memory Williams, Michelle Adamus on the big screen on YouTube and on the phone. Angie Champagne went 30%. Debbie Diggs, Joanne Scherner Cotton, Kathy Doucette, Linda Dowdy. Let's see, Sharon Faye Milligan in Indiana, dew point 68 right now. It's been worse. Billy Keir, it's 26%. Chandler, I was just crying about it. 50% back home, so no sympathy from them.
No.
Yeah, Leanne Ziegel, Jill Schneckloth, Burmeister. Wasn't that the name of somebody in one of those Rankin Bass holiday stop motion cartoons, the
Are you
Burmeister?
asking me because you think I have the answer?
No, it was the
or
Heatmeister.
Are you just thinking out loud?
I'm thinking out loud.
Okay.
It was the Heatmeister. Susan Gully, let's see, hello number 2 from Santa Barbara, Flea Brown. Kim Camo from Little Rock. Kathleen O'Brien, who was
Hey, Vance.
the email sounds like
Hi,
fun.
Olivia. Yes. You guys, if you're not an insider, if you're on Facebook, put hashtag insider and you guys will get a message from Facebook with the link to join our insiders. If you are on TikTok and you'd like to be a Roycycled insider, check the link in my bio. And if you're on YouTube, just drop me a note and let me know you want to be an insider and I'll post the link.
Let's see. Rita Garber Grain says, what game? We'll explain that in a minute. Jessie Prentice from Australia. Jenny Marmion, hello to all her favorite Saturday night people. Kathleen Horgan Bourgeois. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Bourgeois.
That's what I thought about when you said her name.
Well, I think bourgeoisie, but Barbara Garrell's got all the decoupage papers. Yay. Kathy Stokes, hi from South Carolina. Kathleen Horgan Bourgeois says, are you drinking a hot drink?
I know. What was I thinking? And then I put my blooms in there without I just threw them in instead of putting them in the little tea thing.
Paula Takagi, Tucson is at 107. Carol Cahoon, it's 6 Celsius here.
No, it's not for the bunting flags.
Carol Cahoon says, struggling to get my fingers to work while knitting and watching you. 6 Celsius is what? That's cold, isn't it? Carol, are you in the Southern Hemisphere? Are you Australia?
So David and I have determined that we have been married long enough that we're to the point where we often think out loud but we may not be actually talking to the other person. The other person's welcome to jump in the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know.
Rita Burnett Laws. We're hanging out in South Carolina waiting on the AC guy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Jesse.
That was us last week, week before last.
Jesse Prentice, good morning from Australia. That's at least 2 from Australia.
Good morning.
Connie King, let's see. Ann Minahan, been a while since been able to catch us live. Well, hello there.
Hey, Ann. So tonight, are you done?
Yep, we're done. Kimberly Richmond Plummer, hi from Newcastle, Oklahoma.
Hello, Kimberly. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I'm excited and nervous.
Can I do one quick thing?
Yes.
Please, if you wouldn't mind, share if you're on Facebook, and it always helps. Comments really help.
Yes.
Because it makes sure that everybody that we like to see on here sees that we're live. On YouTube, please subscribe. It does help.
Yes.
You can also hit the little bell for notifications. You can set it up so you only get specific notifications, or you can get them all. And of course, we'd like it when you like it too. TikTok, I have no clue.
TikTok, please share. They can share too.
Joan Volkman asks, is there a fee to be an insider?
There is no fee to be an insider. It is free. And for the last 6 weeks, our insiders have been getting, basically I've built a workbook at this point, because every week you guys have gotten sheets to, with like a synopsis of what we're going to go over on Sunday night, right? So we've gone over, paint and decoupage paper, transfers and decoupage paper, stamps and decoupage paper. You guys got a notepad, and then stencils and decoupage paper, and then decoupage paper and decoupage paper. So those are the things we've gone over, right? So I thought it would be fun for us to kind of use some of the tips and tricks that we've talked about. So I made a game, and this went out to my Roycycled insiders, and I sent it out to you guys because I would like to challenge you guys to play too, to play along also, because this is a way for us to push ourselves and challenge ourselves creatively. So I legit have no idea what I'm doing tonight. It depends on what happens. And so each column represents one of the things we've gone over. So paint, stamps, stencils, transfers, decoupage, and then there's 4 options for what I can do. And so I've cut mine up and put them into cups, and so I'm gonna draw all my squares, and that's gonna determine what I do tonight. I have so much stuff pulled out, y'all, because I didn't have any idea what I'd be doing. So hopefully we can make something that's kind of cool, but we'll see what happens. But I thought this would be a good way for us to exercise, right, our creative muscles together. And I thought, babe, it would be a good idea if I'm gonna play the game tonight. It would be awesome if you guys would play, and then I'll put a post inside of the Facebook group, Roycycled, Upcycling with Decoupage. If you're not a part of that group, make sure that you go there. It's a really cool place for you to be able to share what you make. You can ask questions if you're looking for a specific papers. There are Roycycled retailers in there that can, if they have one, they can let you know that. But I'm gonna put a link inside the group, and then anybody who makes a mixed media mashup project, you guys can post it on that post, and then we'll do drawings from anybody who participates next Sunday.
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
And we do have stuff to give away tonight because some folks just didn't claim.
Yeah, we had stuff that was unclaimed, so I have 4 things to raffle off tonight, and we'll raffle them off throughout the course of the evening.
Yep.
Yes? Okay. But let's get started. I'll put you guys down so you can see what I'm doing.
I have to ask, does Carmen have a retreat coming up?
Carmen has, I don't know if Carmen is publicly...
Because somebody posted on here, hope to see you at Carmen's.
I know, but I don't know where Carmen is with her publicity.
Okay, because
so I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, we want to help, but we don't want to...
Yeah, I don't want to cause no problems.
Exactly.
I'm going to put you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. Mayhem, that's what we're doing. So I have a blank, this is just a wooden cradle, you guys, and I could do something back here, right? And then frame it out, or I can do something on the front. When I'm doing mixed media, I really enjoy these wooden cradles because I can stack all kinds of stuff on here, and I don't have to worry about it flexing or anything like the canvas does. course, if you have canvas, that's fine too. You can just put something underneath it. So there's a couple of things you can do. For your canvas, you can mist it with water and let it dry, and it'll tighten the canvas. And then you can seal it with gesso before you start working, and that'll help it so it doesn't like react so readily as you put more products on there. But I'm gonna be using a wood one. And so I have mine in different cups because, well, mine are black and white and they're not in color. So I don't know what's what. If you're like me and you're not able to print in color, you can still play the game. I made a point of putting the keyword in each of the squares. So even if they're not in color, you'll still know which one they belong to. So,
All right.
let's pick one. I should have David pick. Pair a stencil with decoupage paper. Oh man, I would pull that one tonight. That's gonna be complicated. Okay, so that is my, I don't know if that's my stencil or my decoupage one. And my square 2 says paint dark edges. Ooh, I think the universe is loving me though, because you guys know how I like a good halo. Square 3, stamp with embossing ink and powder. Oh my goodness, okay. Square 4 says that I have to use a paintable transfer. Did I even bring a paintable transfer out here? Oh, I see one. Okay, I have a paintable transfer. And then my 5th one is use opaque top decoupage layer. So that means I'm gonna have to layer my decoupage over my decoupage. Alrighty. So these are my challenges for the night. I have to include all 5 of these in my project. These, should we call these elements? Challenges? I don't know, what are we calling you guys? So I have to include all 5. David didn't think I could do it, but I think I can.
No, I didn't say I didn't think you could do it.
You said in the time allotted.
Yes. Is it too ambitious for the amount of time that we tend to go? And look, I usually talk about Royce on my talk show on the radio, but I'm going to talk about her now. Royce,
he usually talks about me behind my back, but now he's going to talk about me in here.
I said you could hear what I say. You just choose not to listen to my show.
We have to get a radio so you can stop saying that.
You were in the car and you still didn't.
Well, I know, because
So
I was trying to get there.
This is a secret about Royce and I. We share this trait, which, considering we haven't been married as long as some couples on here have been, this is one that should have grown over time, that we eventually morphed into, but we brought this into the marriage. We are both perpetually late.
We are.
We tend to try and stack too much. The other thing that about you that I think needs to be noted, you like to go long. And we try to do this in 90 minutes, but...
Okay, I'm gonna try. I do wanna go over the game really quickly. I kind of skipped that step. So just so you guys know all my choices that were on here versus the ones that I pulled. So under paint, you could either have to paint white, paint bright colors, paint dark edges, or paint on top of your decoupage. So these are all things that you would do under your decoupage paper, except for the last one is paint on top of your decoupage paper. For stamps, I have stamp with ink, stamp with embossing ink and powder, stamp with metallic, or stamp with paint. And then stencils, pair your stencil with decoupage paper, stencil under your decoupage paper, create a raised stencil, or do a blended stencil. And these are all things that we've gone over in the last 4 to 5 weeks, right? Under transfers, there's transfer over a dark surface, use a paintable transfer, use transfer bits, or use a contradicting transfer design. So if I had a brick paper, I would use a floral on top of the brick. So something industrial and something pretty, or designs that don't seem like they should go together. That's the spirit of that one. And then under decoupage, use a transparent top decoupage layer, use an opaque top decoupage layer, pair your decoupage with a stencil or use decoupage scraps. So those are all the challenges, and you just pull one from each column, and then you have to create that project. So it's a good way to push ourselves creatively and do things that maybe we wouldn't ordinarily do, which is nice because I know that I get in the habit of kind of doing the same thing over and over again.
Samantha Brown says, wow, that would take me a week if I knew how to do it all.
No, you're gonna do it in one project. Everything that we've been talking about has been about layering your craft supplies, right? To create custom designs. And so I'm gonna do all this in this one design, you guys. So my one says I had to do a dark edges. So we're gonna start there. I'm gonna do dark edges. And I did go ahead and paint mine white ahead of time since my husband was concerned about time.
Yes. That should be noted that you did, because it's not technically a technique.
No, I just,
that's on there.
Regardless of what I was gonna do, I was gonna need to have a bright, you know.
A white base.
Yeah, because even if I done bright colors, I would still want to do it over the white.
Tina Krieger LaMontagne, take me a week to find all my supplies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys, we got to get those supplies out and get them to work.
Carolyn Holly Keller asks, if you use the iron-on method for decoupage, do you still need to top coat it?
Yes, you still need to top coat it. Well, if it's like a art, you know, something you're going to hang on your wall, I'm sure you'd be fine. But I seal everything because you just never know. Just know that if you're using a water-based sealer, that it's going to wrinkle up again, but just leave it alone. And when it dries, those wrinkles will go away. If you don't want to deal with the wrinkles, you can use like a spray-on fixative. Like Krylon has a really good workable fixative that you could use to seal your piece, or you could use Rust-Oleum has it's essentially like a clear spray paint, and you could use that.
Flea Brown says transparent decoupage is her new favorite.
I saw your project, Flea. It was very pretty, and she used transfers. I think the beauty of this is that we can all buy the same supplies but still create like completely different projects because we're layering our projects differently.
An old friend of yours is watching, Valady Kratz.
Well, hello, Valady. How are you? What you know about Facebook, Mr. Valady?
Big supporter of the senior programs in Graham and Greenlee counties.
Yes. He was one of the people that were on the board when CCAS started.
Yeah. Cindy Shaw Rogers apologizes, have the grandson here again. She'll have to do the rewatch. That's okay.
Thank you for popping in. We appreciate it.
Have fun with the grandbaby.
I know. So I'm just taking my little heat tool here, and I'm going to run over my paint because I'm going to decoupage something on here. I don't know what. I have to find out what's over here. And I want to make sure that this doesn't move. And you know what, babe? I took my stencils in the house. Oh, Lord. I think I have a stencil over here. I hope so. That I can use. But I want to make sure that my paint is cured a little bit so it doesn't move when I go over it with my clear coat to decoupage. So I'm just applying some heat really quickly so I don't have to worry about that. Let's see, what's my base gonna be? Can I cheat since we have time, or time might be an issue? Because I already have some pieces that I've already paired with a stencil and a decoupage paper. I think I should be able to cheat, you guys, for time's sake. What do you guys think?
Well,
because we did do this one together, this one specifically.
No, you can't.
I can't cheat. Fine.
Come on now.
Fine.
Because not everybody saw you do that.
Okay. Un momento. Let me find.
So Royce doesn't trust me to come up with topics on my own for the chit chat, for the crafting and the chatting. So she wants me to ask you guys, what's your favorite snack when you go to the movies? But I want to amend that. Because look, there ain't but like 6 snacks when you go.
Okay.
There's like popcorn, M&Ms,
Well, there was
Vines.
also what's your favorite movie? Just because it was one of the posts on my page.
I know.
And there were a lot of comments.
Here's my question. Does anybody go to the movies anymore?
Oh, I know. We
There-
haven't been since.
There are a lot of parts of the country where movies weren't even open for a long time. Now they are. We've kind of made a conscious decision. We can wait.
Yeah.
You know,
Look, I have stuff.
although I
over
get a
here.
senior discount now, and I'm happy to use it. It's still, I mean, it's crazy expensive to go to the movies, and we're cheap compared to other parts of the country.
Compared to the cities.
You know, I mean, you're talking about what, $40 in some places
To get in the movie?
to get in. It's close to
no.
$20 in.
What is it here? $10?
It's $10 here.
That's $10 too much. Oh, look, I do have stencils.
I mean, some of those major metros are close to $20 a ticket. Heck, I paid less than that to see my first rock concert.
Oh, don't even talk about concerts.
So, does anybody go? I'm
Found
curious.
some. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I have a stencil. Give me a second. Let me figure out what my base is going to be, because I think I'm going to use this stencil, and I'm going to pair it with the Textures decoupage paper. So that was one of my things, right? I had to pair. So this will take care of using an opaque top layer. I have to use a paintable transfer though. We'll figure it out. And then I have to emboss. Lord have mercy for Jesus. I already did the dark edges. And okay, so if I do this, it'll take care of all that. I know y'all. I know I'm a hot mess, but
That's the game.
it is.
Chris Schmidt, it's your game, your rules. No, it's not.
I have to follow the rules if I want you guys to follow the rules. So if I'm gonna put this over the top, I think I want something, what paper can I use in the
Cindy Shaw
background?
Rogers, haven't been in ages. We wait as well. Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, popcorn. I always sneak in Twizzlers. Deidre Hunt, no, it's too expensive. Cheryl Montgomery House, we just wait until they come out now. Too much money. Michelle Adamus, can't remember the last time we went to a movie theater. Karen Moyer, no theaters, too expensive. Home, I can go to the bathroom, have many choices of snacks, and I can pause it.
Exactly.
Jennifer Stever, I'm really surprised movie theaters are even still open. Liz Boyle, don't go to the movies anymore, too expensive. Michelle Doherty, just watch Sound of Freedom, so I'm guessing that means in the theater. Is it available on VOD? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think that one's only in the
Just
theater.
in theaters right now?
Yeah.
Ann Minahan, no, been years since I went to the movies, agree to wait. Tammy Valoni, I go with my granddaughters.
That makes sense.
Leanne Ziegel would rather watch at home. Ann Minahan, I would much rather pay for a concert.
Okay.
Kim Camo, I'm snacking on Mac's Red Hot Pork Skins, but that's when I'm watching us two. Leanne Ziegel suggests the paper doll stencil.
Only because of time, Leanne. I would do the paper doll stencil, but that one is probably going to take more time because I'm going to want to put different papers on different places. And I've already configured a plan, so I cannot switch, or it will take me another 20 minutes to figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use the brick as my background. How's that going to work with my paintable stencil, though? This is hard.
Paula Takagi, haven't been to a movie in almost 4 years, and she likes junior mints. Mary Meeks Goodwin, 4 of my friends and I went to the movies last fall. Had lunch first, then the movie where the crawdads sing, then Sonic Drive-In for slushes and Cokes.
That sounds like a good night.
Vance Bryce, I wanted to do the Barbie Oppenheimer double feature, but that's crossing picket lines. I'm with you, Vance.
Oh, yeah, for the Writers Guild.
I was never in the union. Let's see, it would have been Actors Equity because I was a stage guy. But no, I'm all with the actors. I'm all with the writers on this strike. Streaming has changed everything. They deserve to get paid for what they do. And the fact that executives with, what, 9-figure salaries?
Yeah.
Salaries are saying that there isn't enough money? No, I don't accept that. Bonnie Durio Darban will bring my grandson, but wait for myself. Yeah, there's something special about taking the kids to a Disney cartoon. And their excitement, their joy. I give you that.
Okay, y'all. I'm just going to move forward, and we're going to see what's going to happen. I might have to cheat.
All right, you could cheat. Billy Kier, I like the movie theater experience, but don't go much because of the cost. I will say this. I love a movie theater experience for a comedy, but they don't make comedies anymore.
They're not comedies.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable.
There's something about a whole theater laughing that's just, again, because I was a stage guy. Angie Champagne, I'll typically sneak water in, but don't remember the last time she went. Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, our movie, small town, our movie theater remodeled, added another theater, it was gorgeous. Then the pandemic hit, so sad.
Oh.
Now they turned it into a concert type area and are doing well. Good for them.
Oh, that was very innovative of them.
Vance, the guy who commented earlier, he's the director of our Chamber of Commerce here. Great guy.
Oh, he hopped off of TikTok?
Well, he commented on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, because he was on TikTok earlier.
Oh, okay.
If you're on TikTok, just know that we are on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to watch there, we're there too.
We are, Vance is the director of our chamber. Royce is on our chamber board. I'm on the board for our downtown association. And the downtown association is currently remodeling our historic theater.
Yes.
We have 2 movie theaters, but this was the first one that was here. And the roof caved in and now we're remodeling it. Goodness knows when it's going to be done, but I see it more as a concert venue than I do a movie theater.
Yes, because it's open air.
Correct.
Yeah.
Although I think we have to put a roof on it. There's 2 of us on the board that think that.
Oh.
We're going to take away 6 months out of the year not having a roof.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just...
Yeah.
I just
Jill
know what the plans were.
Schneckenloth Burmeister. I'd rather watch a movie at home, even if I have to pay $19.99. I don't have to worry about a crowd, and it's more relaxing, and can make her own popcorn, which is better.
Okay. So I spritzed, you guys saw me mist my paper. I'm misting it and I'm pre-stretching it. That way when I get ready to decoupage, I don't have to worry about it responding to my decoupage medium. And if anybody is curious about where to find Roycycled decoupage paper, we do have retailers who are on tonight. So for my Roycycled retailers, if you guys would please pop in your links so that customers can find the paper, that will be awesome.
We have a question from Kathleen Hoovis.
Yes.
Will the dark paper show your dark halo?
I don't know. We're going to see right now. I think it's going to show through the white of the letters. It'll just be more subtle than it would have been if it was a lighter paper.
Angie Champagne, it's got to be way too hot to watch an open air movie in the summer for you.
Oh,
correct.
Yeah.
That's why 2 of us on the board want to put a roof on.
And we went to the film festival.
And it was too cold.
It was freezing.
Yeah.
And Vance and them were over there having a party. I could hear it.
Let's see. Lindsay Tyler, this is on YouTube, saw Sound of Freedom July 4th. Tickets were only $11, not too bad. Flea Brown, I think Black Panther was the last movie I saw in the theater, the first one. Ruru 2, we only go for Star Wars or Dune types of movies. We'll probably have to go for Dune.
For Dune, yes. I'm waiting for the second one.
That's a Royce
I
movie.
hope that the studios leave the artists alone and let them do what they do. Because they better not come in and mess it up, because the first one, the remake just recently, was beautiful. They did such an incredible job.
Yolanda Payton Jones, a lot of our theaters are closing in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh.
Well, they were closed for an extra long time. California didn't really open for a long time. So I have sympathy for the theater owners. Brenda Adams Farrell, can't afford the movie theater, I have to save for my craft supplies.
Right, Brenda?
I don't know. The last time we were in Havasu, our kids took us, mind you, we paid, to
We went to go see Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. That was the last one, yeah. Spider-Man, No Way Home. But they wanted to go.
I have a question really quick, speaking of Lake Havasu. If we were in Las Vegas, I don't know if we have anybody on from Vegas. So I don't even know if we have anybody who would want to come and join us for a happy hour.
I don't know. Would anybody, so we're going to be in Las Vegas. I got to look at the calendar. Hold on. We are going to be in Las Vegas on the 30th. So July 30th. Would anybody like to meet for a happy hour?
I think it would be
just
fun.
kind of a hangout.
Oh my gosh, you may have been right about the 90 minutes, baby.
Kathleen Uvis, we have a drive-in movie theater, does extremely well. Cars line up for hours in advance. I would do that.
Drive-in? Oh my gosh, I haven't been to a drive-in since Dom was like 2. That was like 30 years ago.
I'm trying to think. I think the last drive-in movie I saw was Moonraker. James Bond.
Oh, I don't even remember what movie we saw. I just remember going because Tucson still had a drive-in.
For Your
theater.
Eyes Only. It was a Bond. I saw both Bonds in the theater.
Bond.
It was For Your Eyes Only.
Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna set this aside and let it dry because I have to use my stencil with the paper anyways. So I did my halo, which you can't really see under this paper. You can, but you can't. I mean, if you look, you can still see the halo. It's there. It's just more subtle because the paper is dark. So I'm gonna set this aside and we're gonna use our stencil and paper together.
Let's see. Jeanette Pearson just took granddaughter and a friend to free movie in the park.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Our libraries do that here. One in Pima, one in Safford.
And the city of Safford does it too, don't they, on the city lawn?
They do. Oh, they like to do it in the parks.
Oh, okay.
So they're trying to do that. But we can only do it in the spring and fall.
Yes.
We can't do it in the summer. It's just too hot.
It's too hot.
Peggy Otto Finnegan, thanks for the invite, but too hot in Las Vegas for me. We're not doing it in a parking lot. It'll be in a casino.
Yeah, it'll be indoors.
It'll be indoors, promise.
So I am going to stencil onto this paper and then I'm going to fussy cut it out to put on my project. And I'm using this one so that I can capture this super yummy texture on my urn. But I'm debating if I want my whole urn to be rusty. Do I want it to? Ooh, that's kind of pretty. I think I'm gonna do that. We'll make the whole urn blue.
On YouTube, is it Geraldine Curtis? Geralyn. I hope it is.
Lord.
Need to know where to get your weekly decoupage list. You need to be a Roycycled insider.
Yes. Where's she at? On YouTube?
YouTube.
If you ask me how do you become an insider, I will come in after we're done and I will put the link up, you guys. So I'm using Iron Orchid Designs Stone Gray. It's like an almost black color. And I'm using my Beauty Blender, which is one of my favorite tools to use when I'm stenciling. And so I just put a little bit here on my craft mat, my Dollar Tree craft mat.
Hey, Colleen Kolbielka is watching. I haven't seen Colleen for a little while. How are you? Billy Keir suggests won't be in Vegas, but next time you're in the Valley, do a meetup.
Yes.
We will be in the Phoenix area Labor Day weekend.
Will we?
Yes. Remember, we're going to ShibotoCon or whatever that is.
Oh, okay.
The anime manga convention.
Yes.
We're
I
going
do
for Dave's
remember.
work for a change, not for Royce's work.
And maybe to go see my great niece, too.
Mary Meeks, good one. We have 7 drive-in theaters in Oklahoma. Good for you.
Oh, wow.
The one in Chickasaw is double features. Yes. I love me some Grindhouse at the drive-in.
Now, you could just do the edge of your stencil, but because I'm using ink, you can see the paper through the ink. And so I'm going to go ahead and stencil the whole stencil, if that makes sense.
Well, that's what Cindy Shaw Rogers wanted you to do. Do the whole urn. Because it's pretty.
Oh, well, she didn't know if I should do the whole urn in the rusty or in the blue.
She just said do the whole thing.
Oh, I figured the blue would be a nice contrast to the dark background, although the orange would have been nice too, huh?
Somebody said it's weird. I am hesitant to buy movies at home. You're not. You're willing to. Well, it's only $7.99 or $4.99 or whatever it is.
Sometimes
If
it's
you
like
want to watch it, you'll do
$2.99.
that. You don't do it often, but you'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm really hesitant.
How come?
I don't know.
Well, because I used to do Redbox a lot, and I figured this is easier than Redbox. I don't even have to go anywhere, and I don't even have to remember to take the movie back.
I think it's because we pay for the streaming service anyway. So if I pay for a streaming service, I'd rather wait.
Yeah. Some things they're never free though.
Well, some things we don't have the streaming for. So like anything on Apple TV,
Yes.
we don't have anything on what is BBC's BritBox. We don't have that. We don't have the Criterion.
There's quite a few we don't have.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we need any more.
We don't have Stars.
No.
What we should do is we should do like the introductory offer for X number of months and then cancel. And just rotate them.
And just rotate them around.
A lot of kids are doing that. The young
I know,
folks.
that's too much to keep up with though. Okay.
Vance Bryce has never been to a drive-in.
I'm not surprised. He's a youngster. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys.
Angie asks, is your paper doubled up?
It is. So I didn't even introduce myself. This is the whole paper. One side is like super yummy rust and the other side is yummy patina. And I have it doubled up just so you guys could see what I was doing. If there is anyone new here, I apologize. My name is Royce Hunt Bell, and behind the camera is my husband, David Bell. And together we make up Roycycled Treasures. So you guys can see my urn, right? So I'm gonna fussy cut this out, and then I will be able to decoupage this over my bricks.
Susan Gully, not sure why you're not getting anything from Insider. Does it have to be Insider or Insiders? I put in
Hashtag Insider.
I
And you know
put
what? I'll post something at the top of my page when we're done here today, too.
Okay.
Because next week's game is going to be so fun, you guys. I'm excited about it. I already started making it. I'm trying to think of creative ways to get you guys to step out of your comfort zone.
Kathleen O'Brien, maybe it's a man thing. Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis and Maureen Peterson both said the same thing.
I'm gonna
Their
try this
husbands
one.
refuse to pay for movies on TV, but they will. Maybe it's a guy
maybe
thing?
it's a guy thing. I don't know. I just think our big old TV is big enough.
It is. I don't know why I don't do it. I just don't.
And there are some cult favorites that are never free.
I know. I can never find Can't Stop the Music on a streaming service. I only have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I really want to see that because it's such a bad movie.
It's such a bad movie.
I've seen it years ago. Steve Guttenberg, the Goot, The Village People, Valerie Perrine, and Bruce Jenner, not Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner. And it's basically a roller disco movie.
Oh,
I need to watch that.
you need to watch
I
that?
need to watch something that bad.
I remember my roller skates back in the day. I had big old yellow wheels. They were tennis shoe skates. Those wheels were so smooth. I loved it, those skates.
So I may have to pay for that.
Oh, so you'll pay for that? But you won't pay for like
I haven't
movie
yet.
movie?
I can't bring myself to do it, but I may have to.
I think it's because we did Redbox. So to me, I'm just renting a movie. And usually the ones that I rent are on Prime too.
Yeah.
So we don't really pay for Prime.
Flea Brown, I switch between BritBox and Acorn to catch Brita's shows. Wendy, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Ruru 2 is getting them now. Good.
Oh, good. And the emails come. So if you guys put Royce at Roycycled in your address book, then you're more likely to have it make it into your inbox. I do get about 11 emails every week that bounce back, and they call it a soft bounce. So there's something about your provider is like not accepting it or something. But if you put my email in your address book, it's more likely to deliver it. And it's just Royce at roycycled.com.
That's what Ruru2 said. Was signed up for insiders, wasn't getting emails, had to go back in and update, and now she gets them.
Oh, good.
There we go. Yolanda Payton Jones says won't be in Las Vegas until 2026.
Oh, wow.
You really schedule. My husband, Kim Camo on Facebook. My husband only watched comedy. We were talking about Christmas Vacation and Stripes being super funny. Both of them I saw in the theater. There is no way to compare. Look, I'll watch them all the time. I try not to because I don't want to annoy Royce. I'll watch them every week, but nothing compares to watching them in the theater.
Let me tell you about my husband. I've had a really rough week this week, and I know he feels sorry for me because he's let me have control of the remote control for like 3 days this week.
Brenda Adams Farrell, she does that. She gets free months, then cancels. She binge watches shows. Good for you.
I just don't know if we'll keep up. I just know us.
No, we won't.
We won't. Time will go by, and we will have forgotten, and now we're paying for 10 services.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoover saw the Village People in concert. So much fun. Hubby wasn't a fan. I don't want to see him in concert. I just want to watch a bad movie.
With them in it?
With them in it, none of whom can act.
I jacked this up so bad. But I'm going to use it anyways. I'll just put a flower or something over here on this part.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like this one. Susan Boehner, Whitmore Glazer. We've been to see old movies a couple of times at theaters. Saw Casablanca on the big screen, one of the anniversary screenings.
Oh, that would be fun.
Used to go to the Bogart Film Festival in Key Largo, which is a great movie, by the way, when we lived in South Florida. Yes, there was a theater in Chicago that only ran older movies, nothing that was current.
Yes.
Not even on re-release, because the way it used to be in theaters, they would release a movie, then about 3 months later, they'd re-release it to the discount houses.
Yes, that's when we used to go to the movies, is during the re-releases.
Right. This was, only older movies. And we loved going to that theater. I saw 2001 there, Clockwork Orange on a double bill. What did I see? To Have and Have Not, Citizen Kane. That just really cool watching those old movies. I would love it if our rebuilt theater did that sort of thing.
Did that sort of thing.
Yeah, just show those old. Support your local gunfighter. A goofy comedy with the guy who played Rockford. I can't think of his name. That'd be fun. The original Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. Heck yeah.
No.
I'd go to those all day long.
So I'm going to paint the back of this because one of my challenges was to layer a piece of opaque decoupage on top of my decoupage, right?
Okay, Kathleen Hoover says, what part of the game is this process?
There's two parts. This one is using my stencil in conjunction with the decoupage paper, right? Because I use my stencil to create the urn with the decoupage paper. And then it's also using a piece of opaque decoupage paper over my other layer. So in order to make it opaque, remember we gotta add some white to the back.
Chris Schmidt, thank you. James Garner. Jane Neese, we have a theater in Oshkosh, Wisconsin that only plays oldies. Leanne Ziegel, Franklin, Indiana has the Art Craft, a theater from the 20s, all old movies with audience participation. It's an event. I would love that.
Oh, that would be fun.
Vance likes your scissors.
Thank you, Vance. Aren't they pretty? They're fussy cutting scissors for us old people whose hands are just not good no more. I want to dry this and put another layer.
Oh, Yolanda Payton Jones didn't say she'll be there 2026. She'll be there the 20th through the 26th. She forgot the dash.
We thought maybe you were planning way in advance, girl.
Flea asks, is the paper curling because of the humidity?
Maybe. You know what? That may be why it's curling.
And Verla McDonald says she put pom-poms on the roller skates.
Yes. And see, I had the boot ones, the white ones with the pom-poms on them, but then like in the late 70s, they came out with the tennis shoes ones with the big old fat wheels. I love those better because those big old wheels were cushy.
Karen Moyer, The Jerk. Steve Martin, Bernadette Peters, another one I saw in the theaters. We saw everything in the theaters, not just comedies. I mean, I saw Papillon on my birthday.
You know, it's funny because we didn't go to the theater that often. I don't remember like going that often, but I do remember like there are like times in my life that are kind of bookmarked by movies. So like Purple Rain, E.T., Star Wars, you know, I remember standing in line to go see those movies. It was a big deal.
Let's see. Somebody said this on YouTube. Jan Oliver, I missed a bit. What is the name of that beautiful paper?
And that one is called Textures.
And what did you use to make it from your stencil, please?
I used ink. So I used Iron Orchid Designs stone ink. So it's almost black. It's not quite jet black. And I used ink because I really wanted the paper to show through the ink rather than using paint. But you could use paint if you wanted.
And Wendy says the bright green shoelaces.
Oh, yes.
Ruru, too, her husband and she have been watching Rockford Files lately. It was a great show.
I forgot about Rockford Files.
Rockford Files really kind of a precursor to what we see now, that combination of humor and adventure, kind of like what we're watching with Psych right now.
Yes.
I was thinking about that.
Although, you know, it's funny because I loved Psych. I mean, I've already watched it twice. But this time, their shenanigans working my nerves. Like, I think as I get older, I have less patience for shenanigans.
I don't mind it.
I know. I mean, it's fine. I still want to watch it, but I find myself looking away more often now because Sean just does too much. Sean?
I'll just watch it for Dule Hill's reactions. That guy is funny with a face. He's a good face actor.
Who?
Dule Hill.
What's his name on the show, baby?
I don't know. What's his partner's name?
Gus?
Yeah, Gus.
Oh.
I
am horrible, y'all. If an actor plays a role, that is their name forever. I will never know their real name. It's bad, but it just is. I am going to hang this off so I'll have enough room to layer some other stuff on there. And I usually use plastic. This is just a piece off of an old stamp that I'm using because I was using a bigger piece of tissue, so I figured I'd use something a little bit more rigid. So I just used this piece off of the back of the carrier sheet for one of my stamps. And I always save these. I never throw them out.
Let's see.
Let's be real. I don't throw away a whole bunch of stuff, but these mounts, though, you can use them for different things, including use them as mounts when you stencil. I mean, when you're stamping. Do you see a roll of paper towels over there?
I don't have my glasses on, so.
Where are my paper towels at?
You want me to go look around?
You guys, it is an extra hot mess right now because I'm teaching my paper mache class on Thursdays and I'm live. And so I have a lot of stuff over here going on.
You want me to go in the house, get one?
No. I think I see something right here.
There's a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Oh, that's tissue. Oh, can I use that A piece? That's all I need. I just need a dab.
It's tissue too.
Oh, it's okay. I just want to dab this because I got white paint over the top some kind of way. I'm not sure how I did that. So I just want to dab that off. And then I'm going to go back. I know. No talking. You don't have to be talking about my fire hazard over here. I know. That's what I'm saying. I have stuff stacked there because I brought a bunch of stuff out tonight because I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. And then I still have stuff from teaching the paper mache class.
You're being real generous with the word stacked right there.
It is a stack.
All right.
There's a box underneath there. It's not as bad as you think.
Billy Keir says her first movie in the theater was E.T. Jane Neese. First movie parents took her to at the outdoor theater was Old Yeller. Vance Bryce's first was The Lion King.
I had to see The Lion King live. Not on Broadway, but in Phoenix. It was beautiful. The costumes were fabulous.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, my parents used to take us all the time. Walk in the middle of a movie, just stay and watch the beginning. They used to play them in a loop. I unfortunately saw The Great Santini that way.
Oh.
We came in during the last 10 minutes and then we stayed and watched the whole thing again. Marie Price Miller stood in line for 2 hours to get tickets to the premiere of Jaws, then went straight to the beach.
No.
I will say this. I'm going to admit something that I shouldn't admit. Never seen Jaws.
Really?
I read the book. I'm not the biggest Spielberg fan. I like some of his movies, but not all of them. And to really admit something, I don't like E.T.
I don't know if I like E.T. as an adult, but as a youngster, I mean, you know, I love science fiction. Like, I've always loved science fiction. And so anything that kind of explores that, and, you know, there was a little bit of special effects.
I was 21 when E.T. came out, saw it. I was in a film course, and my teacher, who happened to have been a production assistant on the Blues Brothers, so she knew what she was talking about. She was a filmmaker. She loved that film and gave us extra credit if we saw it.
Oh.
I saw it. I just didn't like it. I found it manipulative.
Oh.
Everything in that film was...
Manipulating my emotions?
Yeah, everything in that film was designed to get me to a certain emotional state, which I know all films are, but I thought it was just kind of naked and
that's why I can't watch Stranger Things. Because Molly Ringwald, like, I know what they're trying to do. She just had me look at my shoulders were up here by my ears. I was like, oh no, I'm not supposed to be stressed out watching this show.
But there are other Spielberg movies I love. I loved Lincoln. What was the one about the Israelis who were tracking down the terrorists from the Olympic bombing or Olympic massacre? I can't think of the name of that.
I don't know.
Munich.
Oh.
A great film and very not Spielbergian. It was very quiet and there was a ton of room to breathe in that film, but it was still tense and great. I like Duel. I like Close Encounters.
So really quickly, so you guys see how I painted the back of this white. So even though this dark background is back here, it doesn't actually show through my urn. And then you guys notice that I painted a coat over the entire thing, not just over the urn. Whenever I'm layering, I always like to paint the entire surface for each layer because it just kind of unites the layers so that they still look like they go together, and it doesn't look like I just stuck this urn on top of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand this really quickly. And baby, you may have been right. I don't know. We'll see.
Geraldine Curtis says would like to know more about the paper mache class. It has already started, so you'll be able to take it after it completes?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're going to do this one a little bit differently. After I'm done delivering the class, everything will be on there, because this time because I have help, y'all. Brenda's actually posting the classes on the dashboard like the week following each session. So technically, a week after we're done, the course will be uploaded. So keep an ear out for announcements on that one.
Let's see. Maureen Peterson got to see The Lion King on Broadway. Agreed. Fabulous.
Oh, I'm jelly.
Melissa Pageant. My parents took my birthday party to see Born Free. Cried all the way through. No Jaws, Billy Keir. Yes. It's just one of those I just haven't seen. I'll watch it.
I mean, I saw it, but I really don't remember it.
I like Roy Scheider. I like Dreyfus. I'm trying to think of the Scottish actor who played Quint. I can't think of his name. He was a bad guy in James Bond in From Russia with Love. And he's in The Sting, and I love him in The Sting. I read the book. I'm like, I'm good.
You're good.
And at the time, I was on an anti-Spielberg kick. So I like 1941, which nobody likes. And I like that movie.
You're a contrarian, though. I think you like liking stuff that nobody likes.
So let's see. Joby Marshall, my first movie was Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte with Betty Davis. Cost 25 cents.
Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine?
Leanne Ziegel, my first drive-in was Charlotte's Web. She was inconsolable when Charlotte died.
Right? Why do they make those sad movies? I remember we took my godson to go see Mighty Joe Brown. Is that the movie? The one who built the railroads?
No, Mighty Joe Brown. Wasn't Mighty... No. Oh, Mighty Joe Young.
Mighty Joe Young.
Was the monkey. Was the giant ape.
No, this one, he wasn't an ape. He was a man. It was the early one. Anyways.
Are you talking about John Henry Irons?
Maybe it was John Henry.
He was a steel driving man.
Yes, that's what it was. It was John Henry. And, well, you know, he dies at the end. And Steven was like so mad at us. He was like 6 years old, and he's crying. You took me to see a sad, sad movie. He was so mad. Like, how dare you guys bring me to this sad movie? Oh my gosh, y'all, my table's a mess. 1 second, let me pick up. I forgot to get a jar of water for my brushes too. Oh Lord, help me.
Angie Champagne watched a private screening of The Perfect Storm in Gloucester, Massachusetts with 30 people, followed with sailing while reading the book. Ooh. Robert Shaw. Thank you, Marie Price Miller. Thank you. I like it. So
I am horrible with names in real life, and I am worse with like people I don't know.
Marie Price Miller says The Day the Earth Stood Still with Michael Renner, a favorite too. That is a good movie. I enjoy it. Karen Moyer, my daughter was 6, had the measles, watching movies all the time. She wouldn't watch E.T. past the ball coming out of the shed, but we watched Beetlejuice over and over and over again. Go figure.
Do I even have embossing ink out?
Kim Comp Rogers, I think Bambi was my first drive-in experience.
Oh, that was a cry movie too. See?
The first movie I can remember seeing was Pinocchio. I mean, I must have watched something before that, but I remember going to the theater with my mom to see Pinocchio.
Ooh, you guys know what I'm going to do? Oh, sorry. Had a moment. I have my embossing powder here because I have to use it, right? And I have my, this one is textures. This is ILD's one of the 4 that are in the texture stamp. So I think I'm going to use my textured stamp. And I have some rusty looking embossing powder. This one is called Rusty Hinge. That is what I am going to do. Should I do that last? I should do that last, huh? Let's save that for last. Let's try a paintable transfer.
Joyce Phillips Peterson, first movie was Gone with the Wind. Barbara Garrels, a drive-in was the only way my parents could take the brood. 9 kids. Usually a station wagon and a pickup parked next to each other. Great fun, only $2.50 per vehicle. Made our own popcorn, brought our own drinks.
I remember going to the theater with my grandma here in Safford, the drive-in.
Marie E. Price Miller, I cried when the gorilla died in Planet of the Apes. My grandsons looked at me and said, Mimi, they're not real. Let's see, Angie Champagne, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in the theater. Bonnie Durio Darbon, my first drive-in movie was Romeo and Juliet. Are you talking about the Zeffirelli movie or the new one with, not new anymore, with DiCaprio and Claire Danes? I'm trying to think who made that. Baz Luhrmann made that one. I'll be honest, I like the Luhrmann one. It was good. Wendy, 1941 is good. Thank you. I was the only one who said that. My friends looked at me when I walked out and I went, that was good. And they went, you're nuts.
They weren't going for it.
I like, look, you know me, I like a good bad movie.
I know.
1941's pretty bad.
People often ask me about my decoupage designs. I swear the first half of my time with Roycycled Treasures, my designs were made sitting on the couch next to my now husband while he watched these horrible movies. Because you know when you're dating, you're nice. I would watch the movies with him. I still watch them with you now though.
Bonnie Darbon, Zeffirelli, all right. It was a great movie.
I wish I had put this lower now because I don't have enough room for my flowers.
Beautifully shot. That original, that was what, the 60s? Or was that in the 70s? I'm not sure. Which,
if it's the 60s,
the late 60s or early 70s.
Remember.
Gorgeous film.
I wish I would have put it lower. I wish I was a little bit
Joni
taller.
Campbell
I
saw
wish I
all
was
the
a baller.
Elvis movies. That was my mom's favorite.
Elvis.
Joan Volkman, I applaud all of you for knowing your first theater movie was. I'm 61, I have no idea what my first movie was.
I don't remember what my first movie was.
I don't remember my first, but the first one I remember going to the theater was Pinocchio.
So you guys, I'm trying to figure out placement for my transfer. And so one of the things, sometimes it can be frustrating if you try to use things exactly the way they're laid out, but you can cheat and you can cut your pieces apart and use them the way you want.
So Angie suggests turning the flowers sideways, and Robin Martinko asks, what transfer is that?
This is the Astoria transfer, and it's actually super pretty. This is one of the older ones, and it really isn't a paintable transfer technically, but it is black and white, so I went ahead and pulled it. But it's one of the ones, it's like huge, right? You could use it on a dresser if you wanted, but you can break it up and use it into crafts too. And I just love that little like decorative border on the bottom. It's super pretty.
Judith Gramillion, first movie I saw in the city was MASH. I remember we were in grade school and one of the guys that I went to school with came back, told us about the movie, and I wanted to see it so very badly. My mother would not let me go.
She wouldn't let you see MASH?
It was rated R for a reason. And I'm in, I don't know, what year did it come out? 70, 71? So
I gotta tell you, babe, I have trouble like even imagining you being a child.
What?
I just have trouble imagining you as a child.
Well, she did. She never, if it was a book, I could read anything.
Yes.
Which did get me in trouble in school a couple times. But her argument was no information is bad information. You gotta read it all to discern what's right, what's wrong.
What's wrong.
But she also she wasn't gonna flaunt things either. So No, you can't go see MASH. Turns out it's one of my favorite movies ever.
Ever.
I love that movie.
So I am going to put this here, and I'm just going to tilt it. I know it's supposed to go up the other way, but I am going to cheat so that I can get the pieces that I want. And then I will just cover up that little edge with this one. That is the plan. We'll see how it all works out in the end.
Kim Rogers, I remember going to the drive-in a lot as a teenager, but don't remember what the movies were. Kim, you naughty girl. Yeah, Liza Bricker Visithin says turn the rose on its side too. So how many does this take care of now?
This one, their paintable transfer takes care of that. I'm at 4 now.
4.
I think
because
my
you're
last,
at 615.
Okay. So use a paintable transfer. And my last one is stamp with embossing ink, and that's going to be a finishing. So I already have a plan for that.
First movie I was taken to as a little kid was something called John and Julie, 1955. Story is about 2 little English kids who run away to London to see the coronation of Queen Elizabeth. I've not heard of this movie.
Oh.
I may need to check this out.
And you know what? There's still moisture under this transfer. I can feel it. So you guys all send me good vibes that I can actually transfer it, because I should have gone over the paper with my dryer again before I started this transfer.
Well, you're just breaking all the rules.
I am. It's because I'm rushing. I'm trying to get through all of the themes. Next week's game will only involve 4 themes. And it's going to be super fun. If you're not a Roycycled insider, you guys want to be. Because I feel like my game that I'm making for next week is super nostalgic. And it's going to bring back memories for everybody. It did for me.
Geraldine Curtis, you haven't seen an outdoor movie until you see beach blanket bingo on a smoothed out snow pile. Valdez, Alaska did that.
Oh, wow.
I love the beach, all the beach movies, Frankie and Annette.
The snow is what's killing my vibe.
Joni Campbell, hey, we're the monkeys. I think that was one of my first. You saw Head as a first movie? I'm impressed.
Why? Is that the weird one?
That's a weird movie.
Well, I remember watching the documentary and you were saying that it was
It's a very weird psychedelic movie.
It was experimental.
And
new technology. They were
Yeah.
experimenting.
I just don't see taking the kids to that one.
Oh, I know.
So you either have some very advanced parents or some parents that just were like, yeah, whatever.
But there weren't ratings back then, though, were there?
I'm trying to think. When did the rating system come in? The rating system kicked in the 60s. They weren't like we know them today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they didn't know.
Because Midnight Cowboy was rated X. Because the original X rating was for films with themes for adults.
Oh.
That was the argument, was it's not a dirty movie, it's just a movie made for adults. So this is an X-rated film. So Midnight Cowboy, which would be lucky to get a PG today,
was an X-rated.
Was an X-rated movie. It's the only X-rated movie to win an Oscar.
Really quickly, if you're watching and you've never used transfers before, I want you to know that the reason why I'm having such a difficult time is because I did not make sure my surface was completely dry. And so my transfer is not adhering as readily as it normally would. Because otherwise I could just use the wave and just pop it right off. But because of the extra moisture that I'm dealing with, it's kind of giving me a little bit of a time here.
Flea says the system began in '68. Thank you. So that probably would have been rated GP, which is now PG.
Ah, see, I just tore my paper.
So there was no nudity in the film or anything. It was just a weird movie, and really not made for anybody below the age of 16.
Yeah. Maybe she was 16 when she saw her first movie.
That was her first movie at 16? Was she Amish?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember going to the movies a lot when we were young. Like, my mom was a single parent. We didn't have no money for no movies.
Well, that's why you would go on a Saturday when it was $0.25 to get in.
And we lived in LA too, so it wasn't like, I don't know. I honestly don't ever remember going to the movies when we lived in California. I don't remember going to the movies until we moved here to Safford.
Andy and Honey said she's late because she was at a friend's house showing her how to layer decoupage paper.
Oh, cool. I love it. I hope you guys have gotten value out of the last couple of weeks. I love teaching. I really do.
Therese Grigsby Rose suggests putting the heat gun on it, maybe?
Putting the heat... Well, I don't want to put the heat gun on top of the carrier paper, though, because it might melt it. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'll come back and put this after it dries, maybe. Actually, I didn't do too bad considering how much moisture is under there. I only, like, lost this little piece. In worst case scenario, I'll come back and put something else there.
Geraldine Curtis, The Gorgon, the old scary movie with the lady with the head full of snakes, turns people into stone. Was that one of those Ray Harryhausen movies? I used to love those.
It doesn't stand out as much against the dark background as colored flowers would. I kind of, like, I feel like I honored the challenge by using this, but I do want to sprinkle in some colored flowers too.
Jennifer Stever, I honestly don't think either of my parents ever went to a movie theater. I guarantee your parents would surprise you. Because there are things we don't tell our kids.
Oh, I know. There are things I found, and I don't know, like when my mom had dementia, she would tell me stuff, and I'd be like, I never knew that. But I'm like, but is that really true? Or is it just something she made up or thought about in her mind? That's true.
My mother shared a lot with my ex, and I looked at both of them and said, I don't ever want to hear any of this.
I do not want to know. I'm going to add some color to my piece because I just feel like it needs it. So I'm just going to layer this one right over the top. And then, in order to honor the challenge, I am going to use some embossing really quickly before we're done. And then I will continue working on this piece so I can get to like a place of completion where I'm happy.
Kathleen Hoovis, I remember my parents tried to take us to see Midnight Cowboy. I think I was about 16, the youngest of 5. Movie rated X, so no one under 18 allowed. Dad very mad. Tried to explain he was the parent. It didn't work. They all went home.
Aww. Were your siblings mad at you? Because my cousins would have probably given me a nuggie in my arm for that.
We tried to do that with Dawn of the Dead with my friend's brother. So Dawn of the Dead was NC-17. It might have been one of the first NC-17s. No, it wasn't. But for whatever reason, they weren't letting anybody under 18.
Uh-huh.
And he was 15, I think, at the time. And I tried claiming to be his guardian, even though I was 18. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to work, dude. So we went to the drive-in, and it was fine. Saw it there. Joyce Phillip Peterson, one movie that everyone likes and supposed to be scary I didn't like. Blair, I'm guessing you mean Blair Witch Hunt. Another one I've just never seen because I don't like horror movies, even though I just said we went to see Dawn of the Dead. But Dawn of the Dead's political to me, not horror.
Aw, man.
I never saw it. Plus, I hate shaky camera.
I watched it, like, but not really watched it. You guys, I'm terrible about TV. Like, I'm watching, but I'm not watching. Like, I cannot just sit still and watch TV. I'm not really good at that. I'm usually doing something else. My boys used to get so mad at me. But
Tammy Valoni, I remember as a kid, my mom would give me $2, get into the movies, 2 movies and a cartoon, get popcorn and candy for the Saturday matinee.
I'm going to have to come back and paint these flowers.
It was a little more expensive for me, but that's what we used to do a lot as kids.
What?
Spend a Saturday afternoon at the movies. So I saw Big Jake there. I saw El Dorado that way.
El Dorado, the cartoon?
No, the John Wayne movie.
I knew you were talking about it. El Dorado is one of my favorite cartoons. So.
Le Mans, that was with Steve McQueen, I believe. Yeah, we saw those movies on the Saturday matinee. We'd see an old Three Stooges movie. Ours was a little cheaper because I'm guessing I'm a little older. I want to say ours was 75 cents.
Now, y'all, I don't know how well this is going to work. We're going to see.
The only movie my mom and dad saw with me and my brother in a movie was Love Story. Yes, my mother took me to that one too. That one did not sit well with me.
You didn't sound very happy about it.
The only thing I liked about that movie were the hockey scenes.
What was it about? It was a love story. It doesn't even matter what it was about.
Yeah, it really was. It was just a love story.
Just a love story?
Young guy at some Ivy League school falls in love with a townie, but she's smarter than him, and she dies of that romantic disease, whatever it is, that women died of in the movies. What? It's not a real movie. Not a real disease, but there's something that makes her more beautiful as she's dying.
Oh.
There were a lot of those movies in the 50s, 60s. Yeah.
Now, I put this right over my transfer, so I'm going to have to be super careful when I'm heating up this embossing. And I'm going to add some more, but I'll add it later so I can balance this out because it's kind of a lot in one area. And I'm cheap, so I don't waste any of my embossing powder. It goes right back into the jar. And when I'm embossing, if I see it somewhere where I don't want it, I just use these makeup brushes I get at Dollar Tree. Did you guys hear the Dollar Tree was going back to $1? That's the word on the street.
Jane Neese, we'd get 50 cents to ride the bus to town, see a movie, get a snack, and ride back home.
Oh my gosh.
You get the all-day pass in Chicago. It was 90 cents when I was a kid.
To ride the bus all day?
All day.
And so the embossing ink is really just to capture the embossing powder. And then the embossing powder is what kind of swells up when you heat it. Sorry, there's some ink here that doesn't have any powder on it. So I'm gonna see if I can get that to, I think I just didn't use enough ink on that bottom piece.
Teresa Grigsby Rose is late. What are you doing? You're doing a challenge to yourself.
I am. Look, I've issued a challenge to myself, like a crazy person. Is anybody else going to play the game with me? Anyone? Did I put too many things on there? Maybe I should have only used 3 things. I just issued a challenge to my retailer. Speaking of which, I need to go in there and put my post for the closeout. And a lot of them said it was too hard.
Alyssa Bricker-Visithin, convinced my parents to take me to see Kramer versus Kramer. My mother covered my eyes when the woman's rear end was showing. That was a funny scene, though. It was a good scene. So, Jo Beth Williams, I think that's the actress, had done an overnight with Kramer, Dustin Hoffman, and she came out to get something to drink, and his kid wakes up and looks at her and just starts asking her questions that have nothing to do with her being naked.
Oh, like he doesn't even...
It's just, you like soda pop? Yes, I do. Okay. I don't remember what he asked her, but it was that.
That had nothing to do with the fact that she was naked?
Nothing at all. Didn't care, whatever. Jean Higginbotham says she will play the game. Kim Camo says going to do it. Kim Comp Rogers wants to play. Kathleen Horgan Bourgeois says she'll try. Sherry Benhart, if I get my custom work done, she'll do it. Hey, you got to
I know, you gotta get that.
get that paying job first. And we've had a couple people asking about new papers.
I was just about to talk about that. So I do apologize, you guys. I had to retract my original plan of launching the new designs last week. We're just having some issues with manufacturing, and I have a handful of retailers who did not have inventory. So we postponed the release until next Thursday. So at noon on Thursday, I'll be coming on and showing you guys all the new designs. If you are a Roycycled insider, you'll get an email Wednesday evening and you'll get to see all the new designs before the public does. So make sure you're signed up to be an insider so you can see those. That way you guys can reach out to your Roycycled retailers and make sure to get your stash. Because you guys know how it goes. If it's a popular design, it sells out.
All right. What step is this?
This is the last step.
Really?
Yes.
Because last time I asked you, you were on 4.
Yeah, there's only 5.
Oh, I thought there were 6.
No.
Oh, okay, because you're at 6:30 right now.
Okay.
So we're going to go a little long.
Just a little long. I'm working on my embossing powder. I'm kind of doing a bit of an experiment, right? Because I unintentionally went right over my transfer with the embossing powder. I'm going to see how much I can get away with, you guys, without affecting my vinyl transfer, right? Because this is a heat gun and the transfer is vinyl, so I could bubble it. So I'm moving my my heat gun like a lot, so I'm not just sitting right on top of the transfer, and I'm it's kind of working.
Ruru2 says she'll try. Celestine Clark says she already has her squares chosen.
Ooh. I'm not surprised. Congratulations, Celestine, by the way, on your new paying gig you just picked up. I'm excited to see what you do.
Luann Vassallo, some folks throw away embossing powder? Wow, never.
No. I'm going to put that back in my jar too, because that was a lot more than I thought it was.
Kim Comp Rogers, I'm going to get a mani pedi tomorrow. I'll take the Game Challenger to add all 5 to my nails.
I want to see those when you get done.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoover says it's hard to see the embossing. Does it look more prominent in person?
It
up
does.
close?
I'm going to show you guys up close. I'm trying to get all of it to like activate. So you guys can kind of see those little rusty scratches. That's the embossing powder that I use. So I use the textures stamp with the clear embossing, and then I use the rusty hinge embossing powder. You guys can see that, right? It just looks like it's rusty scratches on there. And so I'll probably put some more just to balance it out, some more up there. But I think we're out of time. But I made it through the whole thing. I'll be honest with you. The paintable transfer is the only thing that threw me a little bit. If I could have used all colored flowers, that would have been really pretty, right? But, you know, I think that exercises like this kind of pushes outside of our comfort zone, and a lot of times we discover things when we're experimenting. So that's why I was really hoping that you guys would be with me on this game, and that you would play with me, because it can be fun. And like someone said, she's gonna have to go get all her craft supplies. Exactly. Get them out and use them. And the cool thing about mixed media, you guys, I'm using a very limited supplies because I didn't want to overwhelm anybody. But all of the supplies that you have, you can use in your mixed media. Like even if that's not what it's for. A lot of you I know were probably into card making at some points. You know, jewelry. I've seen people actually sew their mixed media projects, which are so fabulous. You can use anything. So you're really only limited by your imagination when it comes to creating. And so that's kind of what I wanted to, I don't know, to play with and to challenge ourselves with.
You know, we said we were going to do giveaways throughout. We didn't even come
we
close.
didn't do any. I was focused, baby. I was
Yeah.
working. So this is my final piece. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to have to play with it some more to get it to like look like an actual like composed piece. But
So let me ask a question. So you've
Yes.
got this game, gives you what, 5 different in each category, 5 categories, so there's 25 different squares, or 20?
there's 20.
4 in each category,
There's-
5 categories.
Yes.
Okay, so there's 20. I don't know what the math is. There's a way to calculate how many different combinations.
It's 20 times 20, isn't it?
No, it's not that easy. I wish it were.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think. Look, I'm a writer, not a mathematician. Anyway.
There's a
that
lot
would-
of different combinations.
There's a ton of different combinations. So are you using this as an exercise to learn the techniques, to play with the different techniques, or are you looking for specific projects to come out of the challenge to everybody this week?
So the reason why I made the game, honestly, was just to push us to do things outside of our normal routine. I think that we can all agree that when we create on a regular basis, that we often create the same, even if we're not creating the same thing, we might use the same products over and over again. We may use the same techniques over and over again. And so I was hoping that this would push us outside of that and that we would try new stuff because we're kind of forced to try new stuff.
So it's more get comfortable.
Yes, it's just it's like lifting weights,
So if I'm
but
comfortable,
with your creativity.
if I'm comfortable with these different things combined, now I can start to look at things and say, oh, you know what would work there
Yes.
if I did this and that.
Yes.
Got it.
And then too, as you become more familiar with all the different techniques that we've covered, you'll see more opportunities as you create, right? And so I just think it's an exercise in growth. And it just challenges us to kind of function outside of what we would normally do creatively. And the only way that we grow is to step outside of our comfort zone. And I'm talking to myself too, y'all. I'm preaching to the choir.
Andy and Honey says we can pick. Yeah, you can pick at random. You can pick one of each. It's your game. But you have to pick one from each category.
Yes. So the game is to pick one square from each category. So you'll have 5 challenges within the challenge, essentially. Let me see. Where did I do with the game? So I can have the visual here. So, yeah. So there's 5 categories. Paint is one of the categories. So that one almost doesn't count, right? So paint, stamps, stencils, transfers, and decoupage. Those are your 5 columns. And then you have 4 things in each column. So like I could have just as easily picked a raised stencil for this project. Or for transfers, I could have been challenged to use transfer bits instead of like a whole transfer, which I have a lot of bits. And I'm sure for those of you who buy transfers, you do too. So this is just to push you outside of your comfort zone so that you can start. We're always capable of so much more than we think we are. And I just feel like challenges like this reveal that too. I mean, because you don't have anything to prove to me. This is something that I want you guys to prove to yourselves, right?
All right, so we've got Becky Heron, who says she's a beginner,
Yes.
doesn't have all the things I need to do the game. Well, could she just do what she can with what she has?
Yes, just do what you can, what you have, Becky, and you'll be fine. And still post your project, please. Because yeah, I do recognize that not everybody has like a hoard of craft supplies like I do.
Not yet. You will.
Oh, I love it so much. I really do. But the new Roycycled designs will be out on Thursday. If you're a Roycycled insider, you'll get to see the designs on Wednesday night in an email. If you're not receiving the emails, be sure and add Royce at Roycycled to your address book to increase the odds of not having any issues getting your emails. Was there anything else?
What is there? Because you want everybody to post theirs, and the goal of posting is
Just to share and encourage.
just to share it, encourage, let others ask you questions. How did you do? What did you do?
Yes.
And you can ask others questions. That's the cool thing about this group. Everybody likes to share information.
Yes.
Did you say you want to give something away to somebody who posts? But it's going to be at random. It's not
Yeah,
going to
it'll
be.
be a random. Anybody who posts a project, and what I'll do is I'll wait until Friday to post the post in the group, and then anybody who posts a picture of their project has an opportunity to win.
To win.
So why don't we just hold off on these until next Sunday?
Okay.
Because we didn't.
But it will be at random. It's not going to be, ooh, that one was
No,
the
it's
best.
not a contest.
Because there's no best.
No, there's no best. This isn't a competition, you guys. This is just an exhibition, and this is an opportunity for us to lift each other up and to celebrate each other's creativity. That's it. So I'm gonna put everybody's name in a cup, and then I'm gonna pull them out randomly.
Becky Heron's a quilter. She has lots of fabric. I would love to see something incorporating fabric into this.
Yes, you could absolutely incorporate fabric. You can decoupage. If
Yeah.
you have like the thin fabric, and I know you have scraps if you quilt.
Yeah, all right. I think that'll be fun.
Kathleen says, I suggest leave the post open for a while. You don't think a week is long enough?
Oh,
We're going to have another challenge next week, though. This one's going to be so fun. You guys are going to love this.
so
one.
you're going
It's
to
gonna
pin a
be so much
post Monday and let everybody post in that, and then Friday is when it
fun. I was going
closes?
to put it up on Friday, because that way everybody had all week to work on their project.
Will they remember?
Okay, I will post the post on Monday, and I will pin it to the top of the group, and then that way you guys have all week to post your pictures. And then on Sunday, I will go through and take names of anybody who posted a picture, and then we'll have a bucket with everybody's names.
Yep, we'll just do a random drawing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, you win, Kathleen.
I know, huh? And there's no pressure if you can or if you don't want, you guys. This is just, you know, just encouraging everyone.
Yeah, this is just for fun and just play with the techniques.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
You really did make it in 90 minutes. You said you were done at 6:30. I want to say 6:30 or 6:31.
It was actually going to be less than 90 minutes because we chatted for quite a bit tonight before we
No,
got started.
you started working right away. I chatted.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. Go back and watch.
Handy and Honey asked, where are you putting it? Yes, it's on Facebook. It'll be on the Facebook group.
Yeah, I'll put it inside of the Facebook group. The name of the group is Roycycled, Upcycling with Decoupage. I thought I had a picture here, but I must have taken it down. Roycycled, Upcycling with Decoupage is the group. And I love the group, you guys, because it's more interactive. On my page, I'm the only one who can post. Well, me and the other retailers who are on there. But inside of the group, you guys can post. So you can post your projects. You guys can encourage each other when you post projects. Like I said, if you're looking for a specific decoupage paper, you can ask inside of the group, and a retailer will let you know if they have it. So it's more interactive inside of the group. And the group is private, so you'll have to request to be joined. And I am really protective over my group because I don't want a bunch of shysters in there. So you do have to ask to be let into the group, but once you're approved, you'll be able to post.
And for somebody who's not on Facebook?
You know, no one else has come up with a good way to host a group.
There really hasn't. So what if you go to the Roycycled website, send an email with
Or
your photo?
message me on Facebook too.
No,
I guess
no,
that's
they're
still
not on Facebook.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can send an email.
Although you're on the new one. What's the new one? Stitcher? Not Stitcher.
I don't know.
I
I'm
can.
trying to think. I can see the logo.
Threads.
Threads. Yes, I created a thing on Threads. I posted a couple times. I don't know what I'm doing.
I signed up too. I haven't used it once.
It's like Twitter.
Yeah, but I haven't used it. I just haven't. But you could reach out on there. Instagram?
You can't send. The problem is none of the other ones. You can't send a picture.
Yeah.
Like on Instagram, you can send me a picture. If you're on Instagram, you can send me a picture, or you can email it to me. Either one. If you're not on Facebook.
There you go.
Yes.
Because we have some folks on YouTube saying they're not on Facebook. And
Which I get.
I get it too. No.
I wish there was another place where I could host a group, but Facebook is really the best platform.
Yeah,
for
Joan
that.
Volkman, to be an insider, do you need my email or something?
Yes, I do. Well, I can't email you without your email. So,
But don't post it here. Okay, Handy and Honey's on the Instagram, so
yeah.
she's good. All
So
right.
send it through Instagram, and then I'll be sure, anybody who sends me something through Instagram, I'll be sure and get your names.
Can you pin something on Instagram? I don't know. I've really just started using it, and I don't use
think
it.
I can. I think the best thing to do is just just message me on
Just
Instagram.
and I do that because there's a lot of artists and now bands that.
Because like you can create a chat room on Instagram, but that would be the same thing as messaging me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's really no like open
just
group
message
forum kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if you could post your challenge in Instagram and leave it pinned. I didn't know.
I guess I could.
I don't know.
Just message me.
I don't know.
Alright.
Message.
Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys Thursday at noon. I'll be on for sure this time. And I'll be showing you guys the new designs. And you guys should see some of the stuff that Lexi's already made with some of the new papers. It's fabulous. And other than that, we'll see you guys later. You guys have a blessed week.